Good morning. Hand today is going to be Pocket Queens. This is a 5NL game. Under the gun folds. Next to me, I open raise with queens. I think that's pretty standard. We could say we're EP3. It doesn't really change a whole lot with our raise first in range. So open raise goes around a button or big blind who calls. We don't know much about big blind. This must be the first hand at the table for him, or he's sitting out since. Yeah, maybe he sat out of hand and whatnot. So we lost his HUD stat. I don't remember anything about this player. I don't even recognize the name. So I'm just going to go with standard, something like this, something fairly wide, 30.5. He's in the big blind. He only has to call two. A lot of people do that. So suited connectors, suited gappers, offsuit connectors, suited aces, so forth, broadways. I'm going to assume he would raise. I'm going to add in ace, queen, king, queen suited to his call. I'm going to assume he would have raised queens plus. Queens definitely discounted only one combo, but we're going to move forward. So flop is king 9-8. Not terribly bad. This definitely hits our range. Hits villain's range too. So I think what we can do is c-bet and go for value, because I think there's going to be a lot of hands that he calls, a lot of hands that he continues with. There's a lot of cards that could come that could actually be kind of scary for us. So any straight looking card, so we could say 5, 6, 7, 10 jack queen, could all look scary. Even a queen gives us trips is going to look scary because villain could have open ender. Any of those isn't just a straight, but it could also be two pairs. So a 10 or a jack or 7 or 6 could give him two pair. There's just a lot of cards that could come, and I don't really want to give a free card and then figure out where we're at. So villain checks, no big surprise. We're going to c-bet, and we're going to c-bet with quite a few of our value. I'm not expecting to get a lot of folds. So, if we think about kind of folds, I think he's going to be calling top pair plus, and then open enders, probably the gut shots. And that's 37. So actually that is kind of a lot of fold, 60%. If we think he's going to call with like jacks and queens in the middle pairs, just to see what it goes. Now we're looking at only folding 40%. So that's probably somewhat realistic at a 5NL game. Maybe even pocket pair below the board for some of these players. I'm not going to go down that far though. So we're going to go, that would be his calling range. So if that's his calling range, then we're going to be going for value, top pair plus for value. I do think we're going to be getting some of these pocket pair less than the top card. I think we're going to get some value for those as well. Our bluffs are going to be our open enders, our cut shots. I think our 2-card backdoor flush draws are probably going to be betting here. You can see that they're all high. They're all going to have some backdoor straight potential with them, or they have a combo pair. We've got 40%. He's folding. So probably all the rest of those, and we could probably do the no made hand as well. So just basically almost c-bet 100% here, just based on our sheer range, the stronger range that we have. What hand is villain folding? The small pocket pairs. We got queen 10s of the gut shots. Like all those aces. All the ace X hands. Yeah, okay. I think we go with it. But if we have an ace, it's less likely that he has an ace. So I'm not sure if 100% c-bet's quite right here. But villain calls, so we're going to go with it. Turns a king. That's pretty good. It makes it less likely villain has a king himself. I still think he's going to be calling. So at this point, definitely he's going to call with your 3 of a kind. Pocket pair less than the top card. He might call. Middle pair, he might call. He might not give us credit for the king. Same thing with a weak pair, he might call. gut shots, though, I think are going to be folding here. So we're not going to get a huge number of folds. So in terms of our bluff versus value range, I think we're getting value from these pocket pair less than the top card. So 10 Jack Queen, I think we're going to get value from there. I don't think we're getting value for middle pair of these weak pairs. I think we could get some value for the flush draw, for the open ender. When we think about, if we fire a second time and he calls with these, would he call again on the river? And that's kind of, are we strong enough to bet again on the river? I probably should. So, if we change those to our bluffs, we still need some more bluffs. I think the weak pairs are definitely going to be bluffs. Sixes, sevens, 8 sevens. I think our hand, if an ace comes, we've got a valid bluffing hand. Queen, I think. Not sure about a jack. This could be a 3-barrel, but I mean, to players at this limit fold a lot. I think they're going to probably call with any pair. So I think we're getting value for there. And then everything else, possibly, we're not really going to be bluffing. You've got 25% that he's going to fold. I think he'll also fold those on the turn. So yeah, I think we're going to be betting those. So what do? He checks. No big surprise. I check behind. I think that was a mistake for us. And we can run that as well on GTO and see what it says. Because at this point, my checking range is going to be pretty weak here. Let's go ahead and get that. So that's 44%. Oh, and yeah, we're good there. 3 diamonds. Now, since I checked, if he checks, we should bet for value. We'll probably get a call from a 9s or 8s or maybe even under pairs. I didn't. I checked, so I do think that's going to be a mistake again. But given the checking range, if I would have checked, I think these are showdown value hands. I think we go with it. Maybe ace high we bet as a bluff. Maybe ace 9 we bet as for value. That would be about it. So. Let's see what he has. He shows ace queen, which kind of interesting. We kind of assumed he would have folded that on the. I thought he would have folded that on the flop. So if he doesn't, he's probably gonna play all of those as well. So let's get that. Definitely didn't get that hand there. We're gonna have to find this player and add a note to him on how it was played. But for now, let's check that. I'm pretty confident that my c-bet decision was correct. We are supposed to c-bet. I'm not sure if 100% c-bet is correct, but let's check it. And also, hold on, let's go to flop. We bet 6. I think this could be a good bet for like 2. For about a 3rd pot or just under a 3rd pot. We're going to encourage more calls from like a lot of the gut shots, a lot of the straights, a lot of the 8s and 9s. And then on the king, we could increase it. We can get a little bit more value. He might not believe that we have a king, which is right. We don't have it, but we've got queens, which is also pretty good. So let's start on the turn, get to this spot and see if we should be c-betting or not. So let's run GTO and we'll come back. All right, so we have our GTO solve. I took our turn range, the range that we had on the turn. So out of position, us, we checked it through. So decision 1, yeah, out of position is going to be checking, and then for us we should be betting 74.6. So we should be betting a lot more than what I was than what I actually did. Queens should be a bet, Jack should be a bet. That's kind of expected. I expected the middle pair to be bets or to be checks, and this isn't. So just as a refresher, we went, what I was suggesting we do is this. Get that in. Do something like that. So we are betting 55.6. Not bad. He has, so GTO is suggesting we bet, the 8s and the 9s middle pairs. We do have some checks built in, so some of our ace high hands are checks, like the ace queen. Ace queens have some value. We're bluffing with like the low aces. I think that kind of makes sense. The weak pairs, we're betting 6s, but we're mostly checking those 8 or 7. I bet the 6 is a bluff. Same thing, like we're checking 9, 10, but we're betting our 2 pair. The middle pair, we've got 2 pair. King 9, 8. Oh, hold on. Yeah, okay, never mind, because the kings are up on the board. So we're betting the 9, 8. So that's basically 9s. We're checking 10, 9. We're betting 9, jack. So I guess with the jack, we help to block some of the straights, the straight draws that he could have. Over pairs are mostly checks. That's surprising. So we're checking ace. We're mostly checking aces when we have the ace of spades because we know the villain doesn't have the spade draw. We block the spade. So it makes it a little bit more likely the villain is going to have a king in this case. So we're checking to keep it small, and we're probably going to check call even. Just do a 4 spades. So he bets, and we call. Okay, I get that. Yeah, villain has this, or GTO has this betting a bit more. So if we add in, let's go back to here. We take out the overpair. That's going to be a check. Oops. That's going to be a check. We're down to 50%. If we do middle pair and weak pair as bets, but we take some of them out, and we've got we're at 71%, which is getting us close. And then we also have those ace X hands that we were using as bluffs. Okay, so that's looking better. So that's what we should do. Once we checked it, the 3 of diamonds, and villain checks. So villain should be betting a lot of these middle hands because you're getting some value from it. You do have some kings kept in there for check raises, but you've got pairs in here, middle pairs. You're betting. You're going to try to get called. You're going to have me that'll probably call something just to keep them honest. Actually, not at 5-0, not at all. But yeah, a pair, if I have a 9 or an 8, you call, so you're getting value from a lot of those hands. But he checks, so then we should be betting and checking about 50%. So those times where I do check with the queens so small, we should be betting. We should be betting with our aces. We should be betting. So there were several mistakes in the hand that I think we need to fix. I'm not really sure why this happened. What I was thinking, maybe it was, just the 5NL that, these players call anything, and once I bet and he calls, then that we're getting lost. But we should definitely have bet again on that queen. And if we do, let's go back, bet here. And then let's say he calls, which he could. He's going to check again. Do we bet again? Yeah, we fire 3. And we're going to be firing some of these straights that miss. Here's our missed flushes. We've got some of our missed flushes. Were we betting our flush draws? Yeah, we had some. Yeah, missed flushes. We're gonna be checking some of those. We're betting some of them too, but we're checking the aces. Looks like. So, um, yeah, I think I have a better idea how to play this. We should have been betting the turn. I think that turn helps us, and I think it's probably this hand happened sometime before I started really kind of thinking about how does this factor in? How does this going to affect villains? I know with that king, it makes it less likely he has the king, but also it makes it less likely that I have the king. So I'm going to probably get a little bit more calls when I do bet. All right, hopefully you enjoy this, and if you do, look tomorrow for another.